episode of DylanLasagna Live on a brand new channel dedicated to DylanLasagna Live. Oh, I guess I gotta up it a bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, so there we go. So welcome to another week and another new episode of DylanLasagna Live. Like I said, dedicated to a brand new channel for DylanLasagna Live. So welcome to all the returning viewers, especially to all the new viewers for DylanLasagna Live. We're on episode number 25. Yes, it is kind of weird that we are starting a new era of DylanLasagna Live with episode number 25 when on the main channel, which is DylanLasagna. It was on, we started episode 1 back 6 months ago to this day. Yeah, episode 1 was back on the main channel back in May. So, wow, I can't believe it's already been 6 months since the first episode. Holy heck. But anyway, today we have a lot on the docket, and before I get into that, thank you to everyone for 6 months of DylanLasagna Live, and I hope, again, the reason for moving it to a new channel is because to expand the growth of DylanLasagna Live and hopefully to get some more, attract more viewers and to like more activity in the chat, and again, it's just to see just to see how things will go if these streams were moved to a new channel dedicated to streaming. Again, all variety, nothing is going to change about DylanLasagna Live. There's going to be no niche, no one genre, one topic, unlike a lot of content creators are out there doing like one specific, one niche. It's only vlogging, only wrestling, only video games, all that stuff. I want to have variety here on this channel, but there is going to be heavy emphasis on wrestling and video games, but I still want to talk about a whole bunch of things, and one of those variety things that we are going to be talking about is something that I have not really like exposed myself to in over 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Freaking and that thing is freaking, you're not gonna believe me when I say this. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Yeah, let me repeat that one more time. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And when was the last time you've heard that, like, in the news, in like trending? Actually, last week it was trending for its series finale, last Saturday to be exact, and like even that caught me off guard because like I know I've been promoting on like the second channel, which is my Vault channel where I put all my re-uploads. I've been promoting that like during September, like during the MLP month, the My Little Pony month, that I would be re-uploading all the for those of you new to my content, I used to do My Little Pony content when I was a brony. For those of you who don't know, that's like a fan, like a male fan of My Little Pony. Back in 2013 for like 3 years, until 2016 when I kind of completely phased out of it. But anyway, I've been promoting the series finale through like re-uploading some of the content I used to put on, like use some of the My Little Pony content on that channel, on the archive channel. So if you want to go check it out, my second channel link is on the DylanLasagna Live like featured channel page thing. So go check it out if you're interested in that. But we're gonna get into that My Little Pony stuff later in the show. I encourage all of you to check out the recent upload that I put on the channel, which was like a little compilation of highlights from all my streams that I've done so far, because it not only gives returning viewers like a catch up, like actually both new and returning viewers a catch up of what they missed, or they want to see something from my streams again. It's like it's a win-win for like every like viewer out there. It's like a refresh. It's like showing off what DylanLasagna Live is all about. So there's that, and the official channel trailer. So go check out those two things out. Share it with your friends, share it with your family members, share it with everybody around, share it to the whole world. Now today, aside from the My Little Pony stuff we're gonna get into, I still find it odd that I'm talking about it like in 2019. We're gonna be talking about like some random tidbits I found this week, which was the WWE Draft, the mess that was the WWE Draft, and my thoughts about this week's All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, and a little bit more like random tidbits. So getting into this week's random tidbits, for those of you that don't know the random tidbits segment, random tidbits, like the weekly random tidbits, just really much like random crap that I come up with. Like some random crap that I see during the week that I find interesting, and I just want to share it to you all, and you might find interesting as well. And it's just completely random stuff. That's kind of like not the main focus of the show, but it's just like something I just really want to share. That's like really odd. But anyway, this week's random tidbit is again the 2019 WWE Draft. Why is it the random tidbit? And it was because it was just such a complete mess. It was a really big mess. Even though I thought it served its purpose, it's just like I feel like it overstayed its welcome. I thought that the WWE Draft wasn't explained. Like, it had all these rules which were great, but it wasn't executed well. And I thought the presentation was slowly it. I don't know if slowly is the right term for it. I don't know how I think about it. I think it started to quickly deteriorate. It started to quickly devolve and implode. Because since there were no general managers, and I don't know if they're gonna even put general managers moving forward. By the way, tonight's SmackDown, I'm probably not gonna watch that till later. But anyway, Stephanie McMahon was the only person announcing picks for the entire WWE Draft, and I thought that was the beginning of the problem of WWE's problems, because I thought it was just Stephanie McMahon, and she wasn't really doing anything out there, and she's kind of like being a Roger Goodell of the NFL, of the WWE. She was out there. What would have been better was have it mixing it up a bit, having after the first round, because there were multiple rounds. I don't understand why. And I thought it was gonna be one big round, with at least how many superstars were eligible? 71, maybe 20 superstars, and then a second round you can have the celebrities that were gonna be involved announce picks, but they didn't do that. So that was the beginning of WWE's problems. What got worse was the war rooms. I thought that was, and initially I thought it was a great concept, unpopular to what most people thought of it. I thought it was a really good concept. The problem was everyone that was in that war room looked like they didn't work for Fox or they didn't work for USA. They were supposed to look like WWE presented the war room as if they were actual Fox and USA executives, when the freaking Fox robot guy was the only one that looked like a legitimate executive. Of all people, the Fox robot thing That's always in the commercials. It's always in the intro. We are Fox Sports. Was the only legitimate executive in that war room, and if that thing was calling the shots, I would believe its decision. So it was like everyone was trying to put on an act like they were trying to celebrate, and I think there was one guy that was like on his laptop, and like when they picked Roman Reigns, he was just like it was horrible. It was really horrible. It was like, and then it was like when they picked Natalia, the Raw War, I think it was either the Raw or SmackDown War Room was like, no, it was Raw. They were celebrating that they picked Natalia when Natalia hasn't done jack crap for the past like what year. It's like, why are you celebrating Natalia like in the WWE Draft? She should be a free agent for Christ's sakes. So it was like, it was weird. It was just really weird. And I think they even wore the same clothes during that draft. It was like night and day they wore the same clothes. It was like, do you see anyone in the like draft room, like in the front office of the NFL draft, wear the same clothes? I mean, unless if you don't shower for the duration of the draft, then you don't. Now let's go on to the celebrities, and man, I think this failed a bunch. Like this segment, like right here, it failed big time. I feel like the celebrity portion of the WWE Draft, it was a bust. It was a really big bust. Hold on one second. Excuse me. So anyway, the celebrity portion of the WWE Draft was a big time bust because the Fox side had no clue what to talk about. The Raw side also had no clue who like anyone was, but they faked an act as hard as the War Rooms were. Like, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. The Raw side, the NBC Universal like celebrities were pretty much faking that they knew like who was actually on the roster. So going into more detail on that, it was like the very first celebrity segment, which featured my boy Joe Buck. By the way, you should go check out like the latest upload on my channel, which featured me and Joe Buck. Him and Troy Aikman were the very first segment on the like celebrity segment, and I feel like that would have been a good opportunity for them to make like a celebrity like draft pick announcement. But it's like WWE failed on these celebrity appearances. They were just like analyzing failing to analyze like draft picks. They were just like giving analysis on like, oh, here's the importance of the number 1 overall pick, because Troy Aikman was saying he was the number 1 overall pick by the Dallas Cowboys. I think it was in 1989. And then Joe Buck was asking him like what his finisher would be. It's like, what does it have to do with the WWE Draft? It was like, what would his number 1 overall pick, like, why don't you ask him what his number 1 overall pick would be? And speaking of which, the Fox NFL Sunday crew of Kurt Menefee, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, Tony Gonzalez, and Jimmy Johnson, like, they picked guys that weren't even wrestling. Like, they picked guys like Bruno Sammartino, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, I think even Steve Austin. I was like, why are you picking guys that are not wrestling? It's like either they don't know shit about the product, or it's like WWE like hasn't even force-fed them the current knowledge like they did to the NBC celebrities. And I don't blame them one bit, because WWE doesn't apparently forgot how to make a mainstream star not named Rock, Austin, Hogan, and to a degree John Cena, because clearly the Fox NFL guys don't know what to talk about. And I could clearly tell from Joe Buck, my boy, it's like when he was trying to film that during the Patriots game, like the Patriots Thursday Night Football game, he clearly didn't want to do it. It's like he just didn't want to do it because he doesn't know what to talk about. He doesn't know what to talk about, and that's the fault on WWE. It's like they're not making marketable stars aside from, I guess, to a degree, Roman Reigns, like to a very small degree, Roman Reigns. Like he's a marketable guy to like donation, like charity, like companies or something. I don't know, but still, it still kind of got worse for like the Raw stuff or the NBC people. It's like they at least talked about like the modern people like Seth Rollins, the New Day, Becky Lynch, but it was just like, I don't know. After watching the Fox people talk about it, it was like I highly doubt they knew anything about modern WWE. I mean, think about it. When they don't know jack crap about modern WWE, it's like I was losing my train of thought there. It's like, when WWE is not marketing their current stars, or developing mainstream stars, do you expect like people like Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, Kevin Burkhardt, Alex Rodriguez, Michael Scher, whatever his name is, and all the like the NHL and NBC football Night in America guys, the guys like Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, like all those people, do you really expect them to know like any of the people currently wrestling for WWE if Vince McMahon is not even trying to market them, like, or trying to like at least let WWE Creative trying to develop them into like mainstream stars, like again like Hogan, like Austin and Rock, and again to a degree Cena? It's like, where's the star power here? This is the fault on WWE, and it sucks. Why do you think on the recent First Take episode, why do you think Stephen A and Max Kellerman were trying to play catch up the last times Triple H was on the show? Because WWE always wants to rely on part-timers to sell ratings, to sell tickets, when they forget about the people working their ass off 365 days a year. Oh no, sorry, not most of the days of the year. But I don't know. It's just like they have to going into the SmackDown, which starts right now. By the way, I'm gonna watch it later. You start marketing your stars. I know it's kind of late, but you have to market it. You have to at least try to market them, but I don't think WWE is going to do that. They got too much of that blood money from Fox. They got the blood money from Saudi Arabia. So, I don't know. I just don't know. I also found the picks kind of odd, too. It's like, I was hearing from a lot of people that WWE spoiled the entire draft on their website, and I didn't get a chance to see it before, like, it disappeared, or, like, at all, because I just wanted to have, like, minimal expectations going in. And then it's just like, why are they wasting picks on people that are already on the brand that they were on before this draft? Like, Bayley was on SmackDown. She's the SmackDown Women's Champion. Rollins is the Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar's the WWE Champion. It's like, unless if they're gonna paint the Universal Championship blue and they're gonna have Becky Lynch and Bayley swap championships, it's like I think going to the next draft, whenever that happens, they should make champions stay put on the draft. Like, they should have most of the champions stay put. You can flip the Intercontinental and the United States Championship, sure, but all the other champions just stay put. Just stay put. And then it was like New Day went to SmackDown. We knew that. We knew Roman Reigns was going to stay on SmackDown. Daniel Bryan stayed on SmackDown. Sasha Banks surprisingly moved to SmackDown. Charlotte moved to Raw and it's going to fight Becky Lynch again for like the Infinity War billionth time. And then the OC stayed on Raw, and I guess Andrade stayed. I think Andrade was already on Raw, but I was kind of surprised he was a top pick of that night, which was kind of odd to me. But I guess Paul Heyman has some big plans for him. Buddy Murphy moved to Raw. That's kind of beneficial for him as long as they use him right. Cedric Alexander's on Raw. R-Truth split from Carmella because of the draft, but I don't know. I just don't really care about the 24/7 title anymore. And then I don't know why some of the other big names were so low in the draft, like Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, and The Miz, and especially Mysterio is like, why is he on Raw when Cain Velasquez, even though he's not on the brand, he's feuding with Brock Lesnar on SmackDown for the WWE title? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. Because Mysterio is like managing him, but how is he going to manage him when he's on Raw? Dumbasses. Like, what are you doing, WWE? And then WWE, like, on the first night, wasted like 2 picks by drafting Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross separately, only to have them traded back to SmackDown as a TM. Yeah, Spidge Bill, the movie too. As a TM, a team to back to SmackDown for future considerations. Like, be more specific, Triple H. Like, do you even know football lingo? Like, are you like the football guys not knowing wrestling crap now? It's like, do you not know what kind of considerations like Raw's gonna get? Are they gonna get like cash? Are they gonna get like future picks, like a first round pick, a second round pick, third round? Like, specify, man. Give us details. Like, come on. I don't know. To end this week's tidbits, I don't know. This draft, like, I thought going in was going to be, like, a fine concept, but in the end, it's just, like, really bad. Really bad. And I just thought they should have done this in, like, they shouldn't have, like, bored people to death like with this. Is like, the celebrity segments were bad. They should have, like, with the NFL draft, they do like these like some really nice segments with like players and like some celebrities here and there, and like I think like some donors. I think like announcing picks in the later rounds, because Roger Goodell can't like announce all like 250 plus picks in the draft. So it's like, I don't know why they couldn't do that, like with this draft. Like, mix it up. And the draft picks were like completely predictable, completely illogical. So it was just so dumb. It was really dumb. But overall, the draft was just like completely dumbfounded. It's completely dumbfounded. But we'll see what happens with SmackDown. Like, back to a SmackDown only show. No more Raw people. At least until Crown Jewel and Survivor Series were to completely ignore the brand split and go back to the stupid ass wild card rule again, because Crown Jewel and Survivor Series, because brand versus brand, and then hopefully after that they stay away from each other. They stay away from the stupid ass wild card rule. But they gotta develop these people. Damn it, Vince, focus on the XFL, please. All right, let's talk about some more wrestling here before we get into the MLP stuff for all you bronies out there. All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. I managed to catch up on it. I think yesterday and after it aired. To be honest, I didn't really enjoy this week's episode. I found last week okay, and the very first episode really good. Something about this episode really set me off. I don't know why. It's I don't know. It's either too much wrestling, or it was a case of why should I find a need to care for not just these matches and these people. Now, you can make an excuse that I should watch Being the Elite and whatever shit AEW puts on their YouTube channel, but it's long term, it's relying on just YouTube, relying on that excuse of just go to YouTube. Even kids just go to YouTube and watch crap these days. It's relying on just wrestling, relying on just having people direct themselves, other people to YouTube, or not only that, but relying on just wrestling, and I'm going to use this term again, spot orgy fest. You heard me say it last time I was talking about AEW, I think a few weeks ago. Spot orgy fest. Relying on those two things to make a name for yourself, AEW, I don't think it's going to entice. It's going to make me want to stay, in, let's say, more than 6 months. Especially the larger non-hardcore audience. Yeah, you're getting 1 million viewers now, but think about the future. Think about growing your audience. Yes, you want to entice the hardcore as much as you can, but you have to think about the broader scope. Don't you want more viewers coming in? Don't you want casuals, core, semi-hardcore? You're eventually going to have to please the casual and core wrestling fans in order to survive on TV. It's what is TNT even asking of you at this moment? What is the Jacksonville Jaguars? That's a completely unrelated question. What is the Jaguars even asking you? And I'm going to ask you this question right now.
What the hell is this? I really don't understand it.
So, if it was 2006 and I just started getting into wrestling, and AEW was this pure wrestling spot orgy fest, and it had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega doing flippy doos and just flipping all over the ring, doing these springboard stuff, and doing these dives purely. I would turn it off. To be honest, it's not. It's nice. It's pretty cool, but honestly, I would just turn it off. Considering I was a kid, by the way, in 2006, but still, I would turn it off, because when I watched SmackDown, when I first started getting into wrestling, at least they were telling stories, and that's why I like wrestling for not just for the cool spots here and there, but for the storytelling and the character development. Yeah, some people can say, "Oh, that thing is dead," but that actually is still thriving to this day. It's like, especially character development. It's like, why should I care about someone like Kenny Omega? Like, what makes him so special? It's like, what has he done for people outside of the hardcore internet wrestling community, or like what have you? So going back to that, it's like they need to explain who these people are, and they also need to explain, like, in regards to matches, what the story is being told, because all they're doing is explain the story on being the elite. And just because it's being told on YouTube doesn't mean everyone has the time to freaking watch it, or is even able to watch it. Again, not everyone is able to have internet access or like data on their phone. Some people don't even have a phone, or like a smartphone at least. People, casual, hardcore, whatever have you, are expected to go into the show knowing the who, what, when, pretty much the 5 W's, like the who, what, when, why, and I guess how to some extent, with each match and its story, as well as the wrestler and what their persona is. I don't know, it's like if I was watching the Young Bucks back in, like, say 2010, I would immediately be turned off. But so far, AEW, man, like, I know it's 1 week. I guess it's just maybe one bad week. It's been one big spot orgy fest. But no, they've been doing spot orgies since, like, the beginning. Since Double or Nothing, since Fighter Fest, since Fight for the Fallen, since All Out, since the debut on TNT, there's been at least one instance of spot orgies. It's like, I'm sorry if I keep using this term, but it's true. It's just a spot orgy with no story, no character arcs. It's just a spot orgy. Wednesday was under indication that, because it's like the tag team matches were just like not all of them. Two or three of them were just spot, like flippy-doo. Like, you want to see me try to do a flip, because that's the theme of the freaking show today. So pretty much all the tag team matches were this. I failed you. I failed you all. I can't flip for crap. I'm too fat to flip. But anyway, it's just like SCU. It's like, again, it's like, why should I care about SCU? Like, because I don't want, like, they need to explain, like, who SCU is outside of being the elite. They need to explain who the best friends are outside of being the elite. They beat them like, SCU beats the best friends anyway to face the Dark Order. It was originally supposed to be, I'm so out of breath right now. Frank Kazarian and Chris Daniels, in the tournament, but like facing the best friends. But the Lucha Bros attacked SCU before the match started, and I think it was Pentagon Jr. He concussed or he gave Christopher Daniels a stinger before the match, and like he was taken out on a stretcher. So it was like Scorpio Sky. He wasn't in his ring gear. Like he came out, like he drove off the Lucha Bros, and he had to like replace Chris Daniels in the match. And I gotta admit, like wrestling, like he did pretty good. Like he did pretty good. Like he even wrestled. Like he even took off his shoes, and it was just pretty. It was all right. It was all right. But the match itself was like whatever. It was just like. But I will admit, the tag team wrestling in AEW is much better than WWE. And then we got the Lucha Bros going up against Jurassic Express. Sorry, we can't use Jurassic Park because that's copyrighted. We had the Lucha Bros beating Jurassic Express. With Jurassic Express was represented by Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. I don't know why in my notes it says Mario Stunt. I think the freaking autocorrect changed it. Freaking autocorrect. Luchasaurus was also supposed to be in this match, but apparently he had a non-contact injury before it and got replaced by Marco Stunt. Damn it. Imagine if Luchasaurus was in this match. Like, they could have gone an upset. They could have, like, pulled off an upset. Just like a Private Party did last week. But, that's a shame. That was a shame. I liked the hot tag portion of the match with Jungle Boy, but everything else in it was whatever. The women's title match between Riho and Britt Baker, I don't know. I also had a hard time connecting with that match. But at least they were explaining a lot of stuff. Like, at least they were explaining a lot of background within that match. Like, again, Riho, training, like, started training and wrestling for wrestling when she was 9. But they gotta explain more about Riho. Britt Baker, like, they were talking about her inexperience. Like, she was only been in wrestling for like four plus years now, and I'm glad they brought the inexperience because it came back to bite her when like she locked in that rip jaw Rings of Saturn. By the way, that's a really cool, badass move. Like she's locking it in, and then like because she's a dentist outside of her wrestling career, she's just like she's pulling off a mandible claw. You're like she was trying to pull off a mandible claw on Riho so she can lock in the submission, but Riho was like but when she finally opened her mouth, Riho rolled her up and won the match. So it was like it was a decent match. It was just like, I don't know, I guess it was kind of hard for me to connect into. Like after that, I just began to tune out, because I guess they should, like, I guess it's because there's no like time for, like, I guess they were relying so much on wrestling that night. I have no idea why. It's like they need to balance between wrestling and trying to develop, like, trying to introduce people to who X person is and why we need to care about them. It's like that's the big problem with AEW right now, and I think eventually it's going to come back to bite them. So we had the tag team match between Pac, again, autocorrect, freaking, it says Mickey on here, but it's supposed to say John Moxley. John Moxley, and then going up against Kenny Omega and Adam Page. And I feel like this match, in the beginning, it was like like, I guess none of the competitors knew like what to do. It was like they're fighting, like they knew it was a tag team match, but we're acting like it's a fatal 4-way, because it was like the ref, like, I think Aubrey, like, it wasn't Aubrey Edwards or something. No, it was another ref, because she was in the refereeing the main event. The referee like had no complete control over this match. It was like, bruh, you could have called a no contest, like, like at the very beginning. But I like this ref though. He's like, he was just like, okay, let them fight. But it was just like, he finally regained control. The match continued. There were a lot of hot tags here between that were shared between Kenny Omega and Adam Page. They showed off a lot of teamwork here. Like, it was pretty impressive, and I like the little dissension there between Moxley and Pac. Like, and when Moxley and Kenny Omega were staring down one another, when they were fighting, like, had the barbed wire weapons and they're about to fight each other with it. Moxley hit him with the non-barbed wire part, but the referee wasn't looking, and it was like he was about to hit him with it again, like with the barbed wire this time, but Pac was like, "Are you stupid? You're gonna get us disqualified." He was like, "Use your head." And I guess Moxley was like, "F you," you know, with the dirty deeds, and just left him. And then Pac suffered the wrath of Kenny Omega and Adam Page's finishers. He got a knee trigger and a dead eye, and Adam Page pins Pac. So, it's not a singles victory, but Adam Page finally has a victory, since, I guess, Fight for the Fallen. So, there you go. The main event, Chris Jericho defended his world title against Darby Allin in a Philadelphia street fight. But that Philadelphia street fight, to be honest, was like a no disqualification match with freaking rope breaks. So it was like, and that kind of dragged, to be honest. Because it was like when Jericho was locking in the walls of Jericho, Darby Allin got to the ropes, and then Jericho had to break it. Otherwise, it was like because Jericho had to break it because there was a rope break, and it's like, what's gonna happen here? Are you gonna get disqualified in a street fight where there's no disqualifications? What is this? Hell in a Cell 2019? Seth Rollins is gonna get himself disqualified? Oh, I'm sorry. Is the referee gonna stop the match inside Hell in a Cell because someone hit another competitor with a sledgehammer? Oh, sorry. But I really don't understand why there was a rope break in this match. I found that to be really, like, stupid, as, like I said, the referee stoppage finish from Hell in a Cell. It's like AEW was trying to throw out logic like WWE was. But I don't know, I thought this match was like really weak. I mean, I did like the stuff Darby Allin did while he was like handcuffed to the duct tape, because he managed to do a lot of his springboard offense, all while his hands were taped. But it was all wasted because Jake Hager KO'd Darby Allin, which allowed Jericho to pass him out with the walls of Jericho. It's like Darby Allin couldn't really tap, so he's just like, well, I gotta pass out to this. So AEW ends. The Inner Circle comes out with a little bit of the bubbly. You know, they gotta get
a little bit of the bubbly.
They gotta get that bubbly. And that was pretty much how it ended. Honestly, I just hope that AEW continues to learn from its mistakes, because it's just like the biggest mistake right now is obviously not developing, like not introducing like their character, like who is who, to their audiences that don't watch Being the Elite, or like introducing who these characters are. Like they need to introduce it to the audience, at least give some idea like what their character arc is, and like because they can't all like completely rely on Being the Elite to do so. But I don't know, like, because like I said, sooner or later, the more they rely on Spot Fest and pure wrestling, and without like using story and character development to back it all up, then I don't know, I get ratings is gonna like take a hit eventually. It's like it's the wrestling, like the wrestling only portion of Dynamite, like relying on wrestling is gonna get like really repetitive and tiring eventually. But then obviously there's gonna be people like, oh, what a great match, like this spot orgy was really fun to watch. Seriously, there is people out there that enjoy spot orgies. Like, spots are fine, but it's like if it completely takes over a match, like if it's the duration, if it's the entirety of a match, I want no part of it. So who won the week in wrestling? WWE clearly lost it. AEW could have won it, but I'm gonna give it to NWA. Yeah, the National Wrestling Alliance. The promotion I haven't heard from since my late childhood, early adolescence. I heard it from various people on Twitter that the NWA was doing this show on Twitter called NWA Powerrr. I still don't know why there's 3 R's. I guess it's like exaggerated. NWA Powerrr. Ouch. I decided to check it out a few days ago, and I'll admit it's pretty good. NWA Powerrr is really good. It is a little old school. It takes you back to like the 80s. It's very simplistic. I'll give it that. I like the simplicity of it. The studio setup, like the audience, like the audience was really into it. Like I think it was in Atlanta for both shows. The wrestling was simplistic as well. It is like the traditional, like kind of like the traditional wrestling you see back in the 80s and 90s. There was character development, and story arcs right out of the gate. So you kind of got an idea, like going out of NWA, you kind of got an idea like who each person was. Like I didn't know who this Nick Aldis guy was until like after episode 2. It was like he's kind of like this tweener guy. It's just like, and he has this manager, I forgot what her name was, that he's trying to like prevent, like he's kind of like this hypocritical like world champion. He's trying to be like a role model, and he was fighting a Tim Storm for the world championship, and he retained it. And he praised Tim Storm, but it was like he didn't let the lead commentator or the lead play-by-play / interviewer talk to him about like him accidentally or let him ask his manager talk about getting accidentally hit by Aldis. So it was like, yeah, it was really interesting. It was really interesting to see. But then it was outside of that. It was like real, like you had guys like Eli Drake, James. Like I was also surprised to see the likes of James Storm from TNA, and as well as Ken Anderson. If you'll remember, Mr. Kennedy. Colt Cabana, CM Punk's former friend, even Damian Sandow, who's going by Aaron Stevens now. Aaron Stevens made his return to wrestling on the second episode of NWA Powerrr after. Interestingly, I didn't know this. He took a hiatus from wrestling for 2 years, so I didn't even know that. I was like, wow. So I guess he was like trying to expand his resume, like with acting and all that, and theater. And what was funny was like he's kind of like taking the this persona of like a delusional Hollywood actor. Is like he is having the interviewer not look at him, or the audience look at him. So it was like facing the direction here. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. And we'll see like when he gets to wrestle again. So it's like, well, it may not have like the audience of WWE or AEW. I wouldn't sleep on NWA Powerrr because of its simplicity. I think it's a good show. I think its presentation will leave you like very intrigued and make you want to look forward to next week. So that's that. All right, now that we got all the wrestling out of the way, finally, all you bronies out there, get ready for this. Because this is the part of the program, this is part of the show that we're going to talk about your show. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. A show that I haven't watched for 3 years, but came back for the finale. I missed 3 seasons worth of the show, and I watched the finale, and I'll give my thoughts about it later. But I'm just like, it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird coming back to it. It was kind of coming back to see the finale because I haven't watched the show in 3 years. And it was like, oh, okay. But anyway, share this portion of the show and share the entire show with your friends, your families, especially for all you bronies out there, because you're about to head into one bumpy ride here starting now. Last week, the series finale of Friendship is Magic aired in a surprisingly primetime slot. I had no idea about this. Like, I knew the series finale of Friendship is Magic was gonna happen. I just didn't know what time and when it was gonna happen. What time it was gonna happen. And when I saw it trending on Twitter, it did put a big smile on my face, but at the same time I was like, crap, I missed it. So it's like, even though Friendship is Magic like waned since season 6, that's when I started to like fade from the series as well. I'll admit the series ended on like the highest of high notes for a lot of people. I'll give my thoughts about like how the series finale felt for me later on. People were praising it. Again, it was trending for that one night the finale aired. It showed off all the hard work, friendship, that was put into Friendship is Magic. It the whole near decade of MLP, Friendship is Magic. This iteration of this whole franchise that was initially supposed to be meant for young girls. It was just a really fun series for all audiences. Now, before we talk about the finale, by the way, spoiler warning, for those of you who haven't watched that yet, we need to discuss the Brony fandom because it's a little brief history, its rise, how I got into the series, because again, as I stated earlier, I was a brony before. Again, obviously, I drifted off, waned from the series. After I talk about the finale, I'll discuss my favorite moments, episodes, characters, seasons, all that good stuff. Let's give a little, like, a brief background on the brony fandom. So it started around late 2010, early 2011. So pretty much like when the show started. It was like when the show first aired. Like I guess the first couple of episodes. The brony fandom was like slowly starting to rise up, starting to rise. And it was like a lot more people, not other than like younger females, were watching this. And this was when I was still like in middle school. So while the show was targeted towards younger females, it not only attracted just older females, like young adult, like adult, but it also attracted, to the surprise of everyone, and during that time, during its peak, males, like of all, like of various ages. 1 to 3 told a lot of great stories. Season 4, I thought the Tree of Harmony, I don't know, it was kind of a little hard for me to connect to that story. Season 5 kind of dragged for me personally, and then season 6, I just completely fell off. And I love the animation. I personally love the animation style. That was one of my favorite things about the show. And it was like the older audiences also like the jokes. Lauren Foss, like the creator of the show, and the writers put in that related to adult viewers. So it was like the show peaked near the end of season 1, and when I was into the whole brony thing back in 2013, and I was like just watching random ass MLP videos, it was like during the time, like after season 1 ended, there was just a lot of MLP content like splurging out there on YouTube. Like, yeah, I was still, again, I was only into this like brony thing in 2013, but it was just like you could still see when they were posted, and it was like this was all before there was a lot of this, and this was before the season premiere, like for season 2. So it was like people were really getting into this. So again, I didn't notice much of this until 2013, but it was like, damn, this thing is for real. Like, there is a culture, there is a brony following for Friendship is Magic. So where do I fit in all this? Where do I fit in the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic? Why did I decide to join this little following? Actually, big following. So I didn't even know about this like until my freshman year. I didn't know, like, actually my entirety of my freshman year, I was like kind of trying to back away from the whole fandom, because I remember like in my PE class, I remember during my because I was with my friends, and I think like half of them were like bronies, and I remember they were trying to get me to watch it, and they were trying to share with me like what they were like each episode they watched, but I was like, no thank you. I was just against the idea of Friendship is Magic, and I guess I just kept the notion that it was like, why are you watching this? But it's just like my friends were telling me that it was like it's more than what you think. So I just kind of like ignored notion and just stayed away from Friendship is Magic. So it was like half of my sophomore year, I was kind of forgetting about the series until, again, some of my brony friends were bringing it back up and tried to get me to cave in. I think I told them at the time, I'll check out a few episodes and I'll get back to them. So I think it was I think some part of season 2, or like, no, I think it was the very first like season. I decided to I tried to binge through like the first season, so I decided to watch the very first few episodes, and at first it was kind of hard for me to click into it because it's always the first episodes are always hard to like be adjusted to, because it's like, especially with Friendship is Magic, it's like this is a series meant for girls, and it's like I'm a dude and I'm watching this. But over time, it was like this was a series that addressed a lot, like a lot of real issues. It's like from the very beginning, this addressed a lot of social norms. Like, there are a lot of geeks, like a lot of bookworms. Twilight Sparkle was, and still was until the end of the series, a bookworm, typical to what you would see in some high school and even college students to this day. And then Princess Celestia gave a request to make some friends in Ponyville, and then she was like, nope, I don't want to make friends, screw you. But it was like everyone was trying to like approach her BA. So like, or like Twilight was trying to make friends, but it was just like, I still don't want to do this. It was like Twilight gets her or like goes to stop her, but it's like her new friends at the time, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Fluttershy, Rarity, Pinkie Pie. It's like they all go with her, and it's like, and along the way, Twilight realizes that, oh wow, maybe I do need friends. So it was like, it kind of addressed like a lot of like societal norms. So it's like, after that I decided to check out more episodes, and I guess the more I watched it, the more I really liked it. It was just like, I guess it was just like more of like easy to relate to because of the like how I am as a person, and like the show was addressing some of the issues and like some of the social norms. So it was like very interesting to see, and I was like, I really like the characters in this show. Like, Twilight is probably my top three. Probably my top three. I'd have to write, like, of all the main six, it would have to be Applejack, sorry, at 6. We're already at 5 because she's an asshole. I'm sorry. She is, like, but I don't know how she is. Like, obviously her, like, each character develops, like, in the later seasons, but again, I didn't watch the later seasons. But so I'm judging the characters based on up to season 5. Sorry. So Fluttershy she is the one that gets the most spotlight. So it would have to be Rainbow Dash at 3, Pinkie Pie at 2, and Twilight at 1. But it's just like Twilight is kind of like as the show evolves, she like learns and learns and learns like about friendship, whether it's through battles with the likes of Discord, T-Rex, Queen Chrysalis, and whatever her name was in the series finale. That little Philly Pegasus. I don't know. Like, but anyway, it was like she really developed. Like she was the most developed character of that show. Oh, what else? But that's pretty much how he became Brody. It was like I grew into the series where applicable. And again, the characters just relate a lot to me. Ouch. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much how I became a Brony. But again, eventually I phased out of it. After season 5, like I guess the peak of my Brony fandom was season 3, but I was still pissed when Twilight became an alicorn that early. It was like the show has only been around for like 3 years, and you made Twilight become an alicorn. Like, what the blue hell? It was like, I guess it makes sense now because it's like she becomes an alicorn here. Then you get the Tree of Harmony in season 4 or yeah, the beginning of season 4. Then at the end of it, you get the Castle of Friendship. Then season 5, like you have this feud with Starlight Glimmer, which ends with Starlight Glimmer becoming your friend. Then season 6, I think at some point in season 6 or 7 or what, I don't know. Again, I haven't watched the show since the end of season 5. Like season 6 to 7, you get the School of Friendship, and then I don't know what happens after that. But it's like there's just a lot of overlaying arcs that Twilight gets herself into that she learns more than just having friends. So let's talk now about the finale, because again, I went into this not having watched the whole MLP Friendship is Magic thing for 3 years, and here I am going into the finale, and I actually watched it. I finally caught up with it just recently, and I really didn't know what to expect because I didn't watch the show for 3 years. So it was like I was like 3 seasons behind, and yet I watched the finale. So you have what? King Tyrek, Queen Chrysalis. Sorry, I should have said spoiler. Sorry, spoiler warning. This is gonna get spoilerific. I don't have a sound for that. But anyway, yeah, there's gonna be a spoiler. So if you haven't watched the finale yet for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, I advise you come back a little bit later to the show. But don't exit, don't leave. Stay with me. Stay with me. But anyway, so we start the finale. It's split up into 3 parts, even though like the whole like Infinity War Endgame like version of the Friendship is Magic finale is split up into 2, and the last part is like an epilogue. So it's like there's this fight, or it's like there's this plan by King Tyrek. He was like the season 4 villain. Like in the finale. No, I think it was season 4. And then you get Queen Chrysalis from season 2. It was like they come back to and team up with, what's her name? What the hell is her name? because it's just like, again, I don't know half of these, like, I don't know, like, there are a lot of new characters on this show, like, that I have no freaking clue, like, what their names were. Cozy. How was that ad playing when it was muted? I don't get that. Cozy Glow? Who the hell is that? Who is Cozy Glow? So she's a filly, a Pegasus filly. So she's the, like, so she's like the main antagonist, who appeared in season 8, and then later appeared in, like, the finale. I don't get it. Oh, she attempted to destroy all magic. Weird. That's very weird. Okay, so pretty much, pretty much, like, they all team up. they team up. They team up here to destroy all of Equestria. So they're pretty much like a three-headed Thanos. Like, not only up against the main six, but want to destroy all of Equestria. But they're like bickering at one another, like how to approach it, and like who gets to rule what. And it's just like, it was just very weird. It was like very weird. Oh wait, what the hell? And then it was like they get this bell, which is called the Bewitching Bell. So it was like, it holds like magic. It has magic in it. And they get it from, I don't know where. Again, I'm 3 seasons behind. So it's a bell that can drain magic. So they go out, they get some magic. They grab it to give themselves some magic. They give themselves some magic so T-Rex can transform himself to his bulky self. Krinksilus can like reuse their evil magic, as well as Cozy Glow. Then they go out to wreak havoc all over Equestria while Twilight, on the same day of Twilight's coronation. So it was like, dear Lord. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird because like Twilight was panicking about her coronation. It was like, and then it was just like all of Equestria was just like against each other, because there's this like the three-headed Thanos. That's what I'm gonna call like Krinksilus, T-Rex, and Cozy Glow. The three-headed Thanos, like pretty much like persuaded everyone to, like all the Pegasi, the unicorns and the Earth ponies. They were convinced by the three-headed Thanos of MLP to turn on one another, to distrust one another, and it became a deserted place. So it was like when the attack happened, like when they finally attacked the main six, they were like ultra powerful. They were OP, and they drained Princess Celestia and Luna of their magic. Even though they have like this really good battle plan. Like all when they had this battle plan and it failed. So it was like they were gonna, like, the main six were gonna try to like fend off or try to get the bell away from they're gonna get the bell away from the three-headed Thanos, which by the way was caused by Discord. Of course it was. They were trying to get away from them, but they couldn't, and like Twilight was running out of options, and like they even broke through her like shield, and they practically almost killed them. But it was like Princess, like, and that wasn't even the first attempt, for Christ's sakes. Like Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, it was like they had, or no, Rarity was the one who like used her magic to like get a rock wall to shield them from getting destroyed. And then it was like everyone was like trying to hold them off, and then Twilight in tears, which you see in the thumbnail, like transported away, like against her will. She's like teleported away. So it's just like, damn, rip. So in part 2, it's like everyone that was left in the castle is now trapped in cage, and now everyone that was in that little plan made by Twilight is now all trapped in like in the Canterlot Castle, or what was left of it, and it's like they can't escape because it was like goo that you couldn't cut. So it was like the main 6 was there, Star-Lord the Beard, or Star-Swirl the Beard was there, Starlight Glimmer was there as well, and it was like they couldn't get out. Discord was even chained because like he was chained, and then they were trying to figure a way out. Discord like tried to convince them to like, or they were. Before we get to that, the 3-headed Thanos, again, Cozy Glow, Chrysalis, and T-Rex were debating on what they should do to get Twilight. They were also debating on how to rule, or how to rule Equestria. But then, and what to do with the magic, the chaos magic. Discord decided to provide a distraction by trying to convince them that he can show them how to use the chaos magic. But then again, the 3-headed Thanos, like, we're all debating that whether or not he should show them, and that whether or not he was trying to either be truthful with them or he was lying. But anyway, so Discord shows Queen Chrysalis believes he's lying, and the others follow suit and try to blast Discord. But Discord has a metal rock and like deflects the blast, so it starts like this chain reaction that cuts everyone out of their cages. And I think it starts with Starlight Glimmer, so it's like they start blasting her, but it sets everyone free because it's like they shoot it in the radius of everyone that was imprisoned. So they're like, even like Princess Celestia and Princess Luna don't have their magic. They're trying to buy the rest of the main 6 enough time to escape and find Twilight, and who was apparently in the Crystal Empire, finding solutions to save her friends. But she was like, I don't have a solution. I don't. Gee, we've seen this before. And I only have one answer for Twilight for that.
Y'all smoking crack! Something is wrong with you people! What the hell has this world come to?
I think that was pretty much Twilight during that whole thing. She was pretty much like, at her breaking point. She was like pretty much done figuring out a solution on trying to beat T-Rex, trying to like save the world, like, because she didn't know a solution because she was relying on books again. But she had to be convinced by Applejack and eventually the others that, hey, friendship is what got us into this mess and it can get us out of it. So pretty much she finally was convinced that friendship will always prevail, and then they went to confront the three-headed Thanos and tried to get the cowbell away from them, but like they almost succeeded, but they eventually knew what was up, and it was like they figured out, like, they finally were about to break them, like, emotionally, because they had Spike, who apparently has wings now. It's like, when did Spike get wings? Like, what the hell? So they were about to tear off Spike's wings, but it was like Twilight was like, okay, we give up. And then just when you thought the Thanos or the Avengers references would end, they came back, because the entirety of Ponyville came, or not just Ponyville, the entirety of Equestria came together finally, because apparently because of the I think it was that Heartwarming Eve thing, the ghosts, some people, like some ponies, learned the value of that lesson with the Heartwarming Eve thing that was mentioned way back in 2011. It was like what? Why didn't you mention this earlier?
It was a stupid idea from bad creative, and all that's gone.
It was like why? I didn't get that part. It's like I really didn't. But anyway, it's like they all came together. They, like, the three-headed Thanos was about to like really wipe off the main six, like, out of the earth, but they had like the shield from all the unicorn ponies, and someone farted outside. And then they were lifted up the hills, and they finally got protected, and then like everyone that was there tried to made a distraction for around the three-headed Thanos, and then as Twilight made this speech, let me see if I can pull it up here, the ending of the end, blah blah blah. Hold on. Let me find it. Wee. Oh yeah. She talks about the elements, like she pretty much just mentions, like, she pretty much gives like her journey in like one big spiel, one big speech. She talked about the elements of harmony, which were apparently destroyed. There will be others that will continue their the mission of the main six after they're gone. So they mentioned dying. They mentioned dying here. So it was like, wow, they really are appealing to like the older audiences here. Dying. All right. So she mentions the elements were just symbols, and the real magic was here all along. And she finally ends it with this quote: "The more who understand how powerful friendship is, the stronger we'll all be together." And then she gets magic from the main six, the princesses, and I guess everyone else. And then they freaking nuke the three-headed Thanos. She pretty much pulls in Iron Man on Thanos and like wipes, like they turn, or like they wipe them of their magic. They break the bell, and then it's like Pinky gets the bell like initially, or she gets Discord's magic, and that was pretty funny. I found that to be pretty funny because like Pinky was freaking insane. That classic Pinkie Pie. So Discord gets its magic back. So do Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. And they turn the three-headed Thanos into stone. And I thought that was a pretty cool moment. But what was the most interesting moment was what was next, like figuring out what's next. So obviously Equestria was like in ruins, or like not really ruins, but like beaten up because of the the chaos caused by the three-headed Thanos. Twilight like realizes that she's ready to rule. She's not really scared, but she decides that she wants to postpone the coronation until the castle is rebuilt. So and of course, in a reference to freaking Avengers, the very first Avengers movie, they go to the sandwich shop or the donut shop and like the freaking film, like a freaking Avengers. Of course they do. And they just talk about what's next, and like Twilight just talks about whatever's next is gonna be perfect, and that pretty much ends that part of the finale. And this is where things get really interesting, because well, that is the end of like the Infinity War Endgame version of MLP. There is an epilogue. There is an epilogic there's no word for that. Epilogue to the series, like a proper finale for a series. And it opened up very strangely. like straight away you get the future. So Spike is an adult now. He's the royal advisor for like Twilight, and it's just like, what the how are these ads playing when
I'm sure.
I don't get it. How are these ads playing when they're muted and I can't unmute it? It's so stupid. But anyway, sorry about that. So it's like, I guess the episode begins like after Twilight's coronation, which is not explained like yet. So it was like Future Canterlot is just like has all these creatures, like aside from ponies, and again Spike is there as an adult, and Twilight is older too, and she's officially the princess of Equestria. It's like, oh dear. And then some other pony comes in, that she's like doesn't want to like learn about like friendship, because she doesn't want to learn about friendship because it's a waste of time. So pretty much we're throwing it back to the very first episode. So, oh shit, here we go again. She teaches this pony, like Twilight decides to teach this pony of her lessons of friendship in one crash course of an episode, and then she decides to talk about this of a time where she thought that friendships wouldn't last forever. And I guess this would be the theme of the finale, saying goodbye, which was kind of sad, to be honest. So it was kind of going back and forth between the future and the past. So Twilight was packing up away from the castle. So I was like, what's gonna happen to the castle? The castle of friendship. So they're gonna move back to Canterlot. So it was Twilight is pretty much moving. They're pretty much moving away back to Canterlot, but Twilight has this fear of drifting away from her friends, and Spike says, "Why don't you go talk to them about it?" But because her friends are so busy preparing for the coronation, and they just give her the same response that change is natural, darling. But it's just Twilight gets this notion that they care about the coronation than their friendship, or than the fact that she's leaving. And then so it was when they eventually get to the castle, her friend and Twilight voices these frustrations. It was her friends reveal that they don't share this concern. They have the same concerns as her, that she's scared that they're also scared that they might drift away from each other. And they might not see each other, even though they might not see each other and remember each other. But it's just and so they've been using the coronation preparation as a way to forget about it. But they finally realize that they finally come to that realization that it's gonna eventually happen, and they cry. That was actually pretty sad to see. It was dang, another life realization that's it's kind of your high school graduation. It's you make all these friends in high school, but then at the same time, it's you're so sad to see them leave. It's you're so sad just because a lot of them are gonna be leaving to go to a different college, and then you're stuck here, and then it's it's very emotional. It was a very emotional moment. But the thing I didn't like about this was how they cut it off so quick. It's Twilight was gonna she was about to say something, she said she feels better, that her friends feel the same way that she does, but it was she was gonna continue from that thought, but Spike was you're gonna miss your train to cancer a lot. I was damn it, Spike, let them continue being emotional. Let them have this emotional moment. And it's it killed the vibe. They really killed the vibe. So they go to the coronation. It's a complete disaster. But even though it's a complete disaster, they're all happy about it. They're all happy about it, and Starlight Glimmer comes with a going away present. It's a book of memories. And I thought it was cool. Again, it was the kind of problem. It was like, why don't you flip through it really quickly? It's like it only showed the moment they became like the main six became friends, united together to defeat Nightmare Moon. Like, flip through more moments. Like, this could have made it a more impactful finale if you let the most critical moments like play out a little longer. Again, the moment where they were crying together and realizing that they're gonna miss each other. They could have dragged that a little bit more. And this moment where they're looking at what was it called? The Book of Memories. They should have looked at it a little. Should have showed it a little bit more. Those little things matter, and in just this little episode. This the pony being told the story from Twilight. She throughout the whole episode she was in disbelief. She was still figuring out your friend. She was still questioning oh, your friends just drifted apart and left. So it was but it was before she concludes the story, it's the rest of the main six that are now older, and to the surprise of me, Rainbow Dash and Applejack are married. Let me see this. I'm flustered. I'm glad this is a thing, but Apple Dash is a thing. Let me see. Cause they don't make mention of it. Anyway, so apparently Apple Dash is a thing now. Because Rainbow Dash was talking about, when are you gonna let me do the chores? When you get good at it. It's so apparently they're a thing now. They're a married couple's fuck. It's they're addressing LGBTQ rights here. Damn, they really do address older audiences here. And then Fluttershy is married, apparently married to Discord, I'm assuming, maybe. And then Pinkie Pie has a kid. There was a lot to process in that segment alone, because the older main six was god damn, they're an odd bunch. But anyway, so it was again, see, that's how flustered I was. So in the past, before in her first actual decree as Princess of Equestria, Twilight wanted to maintain the relationships with their friends. She established the Council of Friendship, so it's just pretty much a way to meet with their friends for once every moon, or once every whenever. So it was so after that, Celestia and Princess Luna retired officially, and it goes back to the future. So the story of the past is finished, and it was pretty much Twilight explains that friendships are hard and they take a lot of work to maintain. but it's like life is hard without friends. So it's like Luster's finally now realizing that she's in Twilight shoes, like from the very first episode. And she's like unsure where to start making friends. So pretty much the student has now become the teacher, and Twilight now goes to Ponyville with this pony. Yeah, it's called Luster Dawn, whatever her name is. She sends her to Ponyville to make some friends. So pretty much a lot of the ponies in Ponyville are like old now, just like the main six, with a lot of different lives. And the main six, and they sing a song about friendship being a growing part of life, and that's pretty much how the series ends. And the storybook, and it has the storybook that opened the first episode of the series and pretty much closed. It pretty much closed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a spoilerific recap, somewhat, of the My Little Pony series finale. A probably horrendous recap, because again, I'm 3 seasons behind and I have no clue what the hell any of this was, like any of the characters. But anyway, anywho, oh, I guess not. But overall, I thought the finale was pretty damn good. It was like, the epilogue was a proper send-off to the main six. It was a proper send-off to the series. I just thought, I know, like, again, I am 3 seasons behind. I'll probably, like, I'll give it a chance to, like, catch up on the other 3 seasons, and maybe even binge watch the whole series. But it's like, it could have used a little bit more. Like, it could have used like with the moments where they're realizing that they may not be together, like the rest of the main six realize they may not be together anymore, or like they may forget that they're friends in the future. And the moment the Book of Memory thing, I thought that was fine. I guess I just didn't know any of the characters, but it was what it was. But overall, I really liked this 3-part finale. Yes, it was 3 parts. The last one was just an epilogue. Again, the epilogue was kind of like a throwback to the very first episode, which was very appreciative. And yeah, that was your MLP series finale. And now, to end it off, we'll give my like season 5. And like, there are some moments in the series finale that I like too, that could count as my favorite moment. One of those favorite moments was, like, I guess the ending to the series. Like, one like that can count as one of my favorite moments, because it was just like a proper send off to the series. It was just showing like Twilight was kind of like, because she was taught like by Celestia, like, how to make friends, and now she's showing Luster Dawn how to make friends, like many years later. It's just like kind of fitting, you know. And it was just like, all those years later, now that they're done doing this, like, it was just a really big send off. Another thing I liked was I guess it was the season 3 finale. I guess at the time it was odd for me because I thought Twilight becoming an alicorn was a bit too early, but again, it now makes sense because it's like when they were gonna, like, you had wonder when they were gonna do it is like, I guess now, like, season 3 was the perfect time, even though it was like the shortest season. But it was a fitting like way to like make Twilight an alicorn. And then I also like that little fight between Twilight and T-Rex. It was like a big ass fight where they're in like the season 4 finale, like in the second part, where they're just like Twilight was just like pissed, you know, in a brief moment she was like all pissed, like, cause she like, I think she blasted her friends or something. I can't remember. It was like a long while that I watched it. She blasted her friends, and then she got all like, she got the most pissed that she's been outside of that season 1 episode where she was like trolled by Pinkie Pie and was like raging so hard. But here she like went charged to T-Rex and like blasted her magic towards him. It was like they were having this epic ass battle. And then the season 5 finale. The season 5 finale was also cool. Because it was like Starlight Glimmer was messing with time. It kind of reminded me of like Back to the Future. It was like she was creating these alternate timelines, and it was because like she was jealous of Twilight and her friends, and I thought that was a good episode. I also like the episode where Applejack and Rainbow Dash were competing in the it was like an early season 1 episode where they're let me search it up. Fall with their friends. They were competing in the Iron Pony competition. That was a really fun episode because it was just like it was just testing their like how competitive they really are, and only to find out that Twilight beat the both of them in the end. It was just like really funny. And then like favorite characters, obviously Twilight Sparkle, like, cause she had the most character development of the whole series. I did like Pinkie Pie too. She's funny. I really liked her, like all the self-aware jokes, the fourth wall jokes that she did. Her character development was also good as well, because like she wasn't like she wasn't just like all jokes, but she also knew like when to be funny as well. And I thought that was the best part of her as the season progressed, or as the show progressed. There are other favorite characters too, but I for some odd reason I can't remember it right now. And my favorite season, to conclude this, favorite season, it's a tie between, I'd have to say either the first or second season, because that's when it really took off. Like, you could debate between season 3, but I feel like either season 1 or 2, like maybe 2, because it's like it explored a lot about the main 6, like the rest of the main 6, because season 1 was all about Twilight Sparkle, because it really was. It was like they did they did introduce issues about like the outside issues of like I'm sorry, they introduced like the issues outside of Twilight's friendships with the main six, like Rarity being jealous of Fluttershy when she was doing her brief modeling career, and like again the whole Iron Pony competition between Applejack and Rainbow Dash, and even the downward spiral when Pinkie Pie thought her friends were avoiding her when they were actually planning a surprise party. Yeah, those little issues, like I think season 1 was more focused on like the friendship like issues between them, and then season 2 like expanded on like the issues between like the issues of the main six, like what's going on in their lives. So that's, I think season 2 like was the best season for me. Now, depending on if I do get to the other like season 6, 7, and 8, I'll probably re-rank that. But in the end, Friendship is Magic like was a surprise show for me. It was a shocker show. It was like a show that was that I honestly like of this decade I didn't expect to watch at all. It was again a show meant for younger females, like as has been the MLP franchise, but it like for many older audiences and older males, I managed to like end up getting into it, like at least for the better part of 5 seasons. It's actually like more than half of the Friendship is Magic lifetime. But it's been a crazy ride for Friendship is Magic, and I'm actually kind of glad it existed for this long. Sure, it didn't like get any traction or exposure that it used to, like after like mid season 5 or like the beginning of season 6, but it managed to come up with new ways to be unique. Well, we'll see when I watch those seasons, but it also expanded like itself with the whole like Equestria Girls things, which apparently is still going to be a thing. That voice cast is still going to do it. I guess the voice cast for Friendship is Magic, at least the main one, is still going to do it. But yeah, Friendship is Magic was a really big thing for this, like a surprise thing for this decade. Now, in regards to the future, I don't know what's going to happen. Gen 5 is going to have a really hard time topping Gen 4, because I think what I read from a year ago or like several months ago, that Gen 5 is going to probably go back to like try to go back to, let me search it up. Gen 5. Oh, it was 2018. What the hell? So it's like nobody knows. Like honestly, what do people? I'm not really sure what people know about Gen 5. I'll be honest, it's kind of hard to tell what Generation 5 is going to bring. To be honest, I'm not really going to be around for Gen 5. But again, it's going to be very hard to top. it's like it's probably not gonna have this. It's not gonna have as the same luster as Gen 4 did with the main 6 and the like making it as relatable to like older demographics and all that. But we'll see what the next generation of My Little Pony will bring to whatever audience it's gonna attract to. But overall, Friendship is Magic was an X Factor show, and whatever comes next for not just the Gen 5, the whole MLP fan base, and even the bronies, like what's next for them? It's like, as I'm looking at Equestria Daily, they're still doing they're still posting stuff here. They're still doing some fan art. They're still doing some remixes. I mean, they're still posting stuff on here, I suppose. But I mean, I guess the brony fandom is still gonna be around, but we don't know how much. Like, it's how much longer for the future. But at least for now, people are still staying active, and that's all. I'm glad to see. But anyway, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about the all these topics for today. Friendship is Magic. I know it's a girly show, but I would at least check it out. It's very teaches a lot of very valuable life lessons. Dynamite, AEW Dynamite, not as good as the last 2 weeks. The WWE Draft flopped big time. Those were the topics that I discussed for this week on Dylan Lasagna Live. If you missed any of the show, you can check out the replay. That will be up on the channel, on this channel, Dylan Lasagna Live. And if you missed any of the episodes of Dylan Lasagna Live from episode 1 to 24, go check out the main channel, my main Dylan Lasagna channel. That will be in the description of all the live streams. Of all the live streams moving forward. Again, the reason why I'm doing Dylan Lasagna Live here on the new channel for all my new viewers is, and all the returning viewers as well, is because I would like to expand the growth of my live streams, and hence is why episode number 25 is here instead of episode 1. But anyway, we'll see how the growth of this channel is. I know I am still aware my battery is going to die on my camera, but hopefully DL Live will grow here. I know it's not going to be like right away, but we'll see how far it can take us. But anyway, that's going to do it for this week. Make sure you subscribe, like, dislike the stream, leave a comment if you're watching the replay, leave all your final comments. Next week, anything is possible in regards to topics. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this week on Dylan Lasagna Live. Always be delicious, and I'll see you all next time, and let's send it off in style.
Y'all take it easy. I'm out.
Alright, I'll see you all next week. And, like Stephen A. Smith said, I'm out.
Grammarly